We actually had your mum on SNZ earlier today, and like you, she was buzzing, beaming with pride. How are the emotions a day later? And I know you pay tribute to your grandmother as well, Mary Smith. How are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly, like I said, it's still just such an unreal feeling. I still have to go through a lot of messages that have been coming through. The support that I've had over this last 24-hour period has been insane. And I'm just so grateful, not just for the community here, but obviously back home. I know so many people are watching and supporting me, and especially my family. And people are, obviously reaching out and saying how proud my Nana would have been. And I just feel so much love, at this point right now. And I'm just trying to really let it all sink in. And I honestly don't think it's really hit me right now. So I'm just still waiting for that moment.
That's awesome. I mean, you guys had a tough road to get there. You had no bye. You had to go through California, Utah, Colorado, and UCLA, to claim that Pac-12 title. It's dubbed the Conference of Champions. What does that do for the confidence levels now heading into March Madness?
Oh yeah, the Pac-12 is brutal. The entire season, every game, no matter who you're playing, anybody on a given day can win that game. And it's just a credit to how strong our conference actually is. But on the flip side of that, I think it prepares us really, really well for the tournament because we're used to playing so many different styles, such a high pressure game. And obviously every game is so close and you have to play it down to the wire. So I think heading into the tournament, those are the types of games that prepare you well. And hopefully whoever we come up against in the tournament will be ready to play them. And I think this just gives us good momentum going into that first round.
4 games in 5 days. How's the body holding up?
Oh my gosh, it's holding up. Let's just keep it there. I gotta have a few recovery days, but no, we're good.
Love it. Love it. Bella Muraka called you the best player in the nation. What does that mean to you to receive that level of praise from your teammates?
Yeah, that's just so much love from my teammates right there. And obviously they're going to be biased and be my biggest hype woman, and I love that from them. And same goes to them. I have so much respect and faith in them as players and teammates, and just the culture we have on our team. I think that's what it speaks to, is that culture and that real family bond that we have. And I mean, if you're not hyping up your own teammates, then what are you doing, So, yeah, I'm so grateful for them and who they are as people, and just being able to play with them, every day.
Speaking of that culture, like in New Zealand, we see the likes of the Black Ferns having an admirable team environment that helps foster their winning culture. What makes the team culture there at WSU so special that you could create history in the way that you all have?
Yeah, I think culture is such a huge, huge key to team success, and success the right way. And I think a lot of that comes from our coaching staff and who they are as people. They treat you as a human first, not anything else. And I think that's a testament to them and what they've really done with this program. And our roster is full of international students, and I think that also plays a part in why we're so close as a team. We're all going through the same things of not being able to just go home in the weekends, or, we have to lean on each other a lot more than probably what you would usually do if you're, just an American team and you can go home whenever. So I think that bond that we have through similar experiences really helps. And that translates onto the court when we need it most. We know that we're playing for each other and we've got each other's backs, and the coaches have faith and trust in us. And so that culture is without a doubt a big, big part of why we've been successful so far.
I was looking at the team roster, and, aside from having, your typical North Americans on the team, you got yourself there as a Kiwi. There's a couple of Aussies, Finland, Estonia, Kosovo, Rwanda, all represented.
Yeah.
When you have all those cultures come together, how does that work? Do you like to pay respect to each other's different nationalities and cultures there?
Yeah, for sure. We love being able to represent so many different communities, and we all embrace that. We actually had an international day. I actually wasn't there. That was one of the games I missed due to being home, but they had, an international day where they celebrated all of the girls' different countries that they come from. When we have our media days, we bring our flags and we take photos with our flags, and it's always something we're all so proud to represent our different countries and put them on, the world stage because college basketball is so big, just in the basketball world in general. So being able to come from smaller countries that basketball isn't the biggest thing is amazing. And when you put that all together and everybody, feels that love and pride for their country, it's pretty special.
Do you think New Zealand understands just how big like US college basketball is?
I don't think all of New Zealand does exactly. It's probably even the basketball community does it. Most people wouldn't understand how big college basketball actually is, and it's hard if you don't follow it, and you don't know what's going on. It's just so big over here, and you have. Basketball is one of the biggest sports, obviously, in America, and girls and boys, they play it from, since they're out the womb pretty much. And that is their whole entire life. And they're so driven and so motivated. And it's so hard to be good over here for college basketball, just in general. So the magnitude of what we're doing here, I don't think people really understand. But I'm happy that we're finally starting to talk about it and get more representation, and New Zealand can see how big of a thing this is and also see, that there's opportunities here. And I just hope, younger generations, people who are watching me or following even just other college players over here, like it's a big, big opportunity, but definitely something that people can aspire to and, really reach.
Yeah, I've got a 2-year-old at home who loves dunking on a hoop. So who knows what things are like 15 years from now. I just want to look back at that championship game. You shot 5 from 7 beyond the arc, 7 from 11 and field goals. How much time do you put into your jump shot like today, like to this day, to have it dropping as smoothly as you did against UCLA?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. Actually, this summer, sorry, it would be our winter, but the summer over here is our off season in terms of college basketball, and that was actually the first time in my 3 years that I've been here that I decided that I really wanted to come back and work on my game and spend the summer in America, because that period is the only time I get to spend at home throughout the year. So I decided to sacrifice a bit of that time and come back and really try and work on my individual game, and a lot of that was spent on shooting and definitely 3-point shooting. And so being in the gym, I'm lucky enough to have one of the best 3-point shooters in WNBA history in Laurie Kane, our assistant coach. And she's in the gym with me every day, so pointers from her, advice from her, and just her knowledge of how to shoot, your footwork, all the little detail stuff has really helped me this season. And I think it's just helped my confidence, going into big games like that and just not being afraid to let it fly and shoot. And I think a lot of that goes back to just relying on the work that I put in previously to the season.
Awesome. I mean, you're at your junior year now at WSU. How much do you love in life being a student athlete? And also, how do you find that balance between your studies and the women's basketball program?
Yeah. No, I definitely love it. And it's an opportunity that I would really encourage other people to take if they wanted to. Obviously it's hard. Like, I'm not going to lie, it's definitely hard, and you have to learn how to balance a lot of different things, not just academics and basketball, but also your social life, how you manage to fit in time with your family and friends and still catch up with them back home. And just there's so many different things you have to think about. But the biggest thing for me and coming to WSU was the people, the coaches, and everyone who was surrounding me here. That was the big reason why I came here. And they're really, really good at helping me and supporting me in this student athlete journey. Because it can be very overwhelming at times, not just physically with basketball, but also mentally. There's so many things going on. You almost feel like your whole identity is being a student athlete. And it can be really tough, especially if you're losing or, not having a great stretch on the basketball court. So it's a lot. And I think, the best way you can kind of deal with it is you have to go through it to learn, what works for you, what doesn't, what you can do to help yourself. And that's something that I think I've grown as, especially over these past 3 years. And, it was a bit different for me in my freshman year was COVID, obviously. So
Mm.
very, very different. We didn't have fans in the gym and we, played a different schedule. We didn't travel as much and we were pretty much in our rooms the entire time, if not on the basketball court. We didn't really have a social life. So that was also very hard. But again, I think a testament to why our team's so close because we were forced to only hang out with each other. But the student athlete experience is one it's so like special, and I don't think you could ever get that experience with any other aspect in your life. But right now, like I love it. I'm enjoying it, especially being probably an upperclassman. You kind of reflect and you know what to expect in the season and what's coming. So you really take that time to have more fun and just really enjoy these moments. When your team is successful, and try not to put too much pressure on yourself, throughout the season, and just kind of take the wins as they come, and yeah, just really rely on each other throughout the season. But I love it. No regrets at all.
What about your sister Crystal? How much of an influence was she like in your first couple of years there at WSU?
A huge influence. Obviously, she was a big part of why I came to WSU as well. After she committed, that kind of tipped the iceberg for me to go there. But just her in general is so much of what I know from basketball, and just being like a good human being in general is from Crystal and what she's done. And she's, I learn so much from her, just watching her go through her college experience, those first few years at UNC and then making the transfer to WSU, and just watching her growth also as a basketball player has been really special. And we were never actually meant to cross paths, in our college journey, but because she took those extra years to play, that's why I was fortunate enough to play with her. And I don't know if I would be here without her. And that experience I had with her. Her knowledge on the court is insane. Like if you watch Crystal play, her IQ is just off the charts. Like you want to see a point guard and watch somebody who can pass, it's Crystal. Just watch any of her games. She's insane. And just that knowledge that she has, and she's like a coach on the court pretty much. She tells everybody where they need to be. She holds you accountable when she needs to. She'll tell you straight up to your face. Like there's nothing that she won't do to try and make the team better. And that's just a testament to her. And I think a lot of the qualities that I have stemmed from just watching her and following her footsteps.
Nice, love it. Now, the Walker name is so synonymous with Tall Ferns basketball. You made your debut back when you were 16 in 2018 with the Commonwealth Games. 5 years on from that, how much do you think the level of basketball has been raised by New Zealand?
Yeah, huge. I think basketball in New Zealand is becoming so relevant, and I'm so excited for that and to be a part of that. I know obviously I have a younger sister, Tanika, and she's and still in obviously all the New Zealand basketball scene, and mum being a coach like she's always around the sport. And so obviously we're still very, very connected even when we're out of the country. And it's just awesome to see how much basketball is really being put on the maps. And from a perspective over here and talking to college coaches and scouts like that, I know a lot of them now are looking to recruit more internationally, and they are looking at New Zealand, and they are looking at, the nationals that we have and the different rep tournaments that we're having. And I'm just so excited because we have so much talent in New Zealand. And I really think a lot of people can come over here and play and show how good they can be on a bigger stage. And I think that's just, I want to see that continue to rise within New Zealand. And I think that we've still got a long ways to go in terms of being able to showcase the talent that we have better. And obviously that's in the works and there's different ways we can do that. But yeah, I'm just excited. Like basketball is definitely on the rise. It's such a cool sport. It gives you so many opportunities outside of New Zealand, which I think other sports don't necessarily do. And so yeah, just for the younger generations and even now, I'm still excited. The Tall Ferns program, obviously got a great coach in Guy Malloy, and what he knows and his knowledge that he's bringing to this program is immense. And yeah, I'm just excited that I'm a part of it all.
I know after junior, you also have your senior year, so it might be a bit too far in the future, but have you given much thought to the WNBA?
Yeah, I definitely have. It's kind of something that I've started to definitely think about more seriously just because I am, in my senior years. So WNBA prospects, they start looking at, or they're watching you ever since you get in college, and they start drafting their teams, 4 or 5 years out because there's not many teams in the league and it's so hard to get on a roster, especially right now when they're only really retaining 11 people on their roster. So, and you have obviously vets who stay around forever and don't want to leave. But it's definitely always been a goal of mine to get to the WNBA, and something I'm definitely thinking about at the moment.
I got a question from a listener that I wanted to run by you. She wanted to ask if you could tell a younger Charlisse anything standing in the position you are today, what would it be?
Yeah, wow. I think it would just be stick to the process and I think take more time to enjoy the moments. I don't think younger me really reflected on kind of who I was and where I was in my journey of basketball. I think I did a lot of things that I was kind of like, yeah, that's cool, and it's just what I'm doing, but I didn't really understand the magnitude of, the waves I was making in New Zealand and kind of who I was in terms of somebody people can look up to. And I kind of wish I reflected on that more and really bought into that just so, I had more faith and belief in myself. But yeah, probably just those two things, just to reflect and really enjoy those moments of success. Yeah.
Nice. And lastly from me, Charlisse, New Zealand has the Tauihi Basketball League now. Both your mum, Leanne, and your sister, Crystal, have been involved with the Northern Kahu. You mentioned your younger sister, Tanika, earlier. She's making a name for herself in the age group levels. Do you hope to come play at home after you graduate?
I definitely would love to play in the Tauihi League. I think that league is awesome, especially now that the women are being paid. That is crazy and so good for us. But yeah, I mean, if it works with my scheduling, there's no doubt I would definitely love to play in that league and just help it grow. Obviously, it's in the off season of our the college schedule, so it would just depend on how that kind of works with things and just those plans that I have in the summer and whether that would be instrumental to the development I want to have right now or just depends on my schedule really.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time, Charlisse. I know it's a busy schedule being a student athlete. I just want to wish you all the best for March Madness coming up.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me on.
SENZ.